What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, family? Hey, 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 how you doing? Doing? Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is today? Oh, today's show is the weekend chart prep for November 20th, 2022. Yeah. Y'all pull on up, y'all pull on up, pull on up, pull on up, pull on up. If this your first time tuning in, I like to say welcome. If it's not your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbit, I still want to say welcome and give you a nice hearty thank you for always pulling up and tuning in with me, him, my boy Spidey back here. Y'all see Spidey back there hanging out on the wall. He like to hang out by the window over there these days. Y'all, thank y'all for pulling up every single day with us. Every day that is except for Saturday. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr. I get on Al Gore's internet every single day and I talk about the price action, dealing with the S&P 500 primarily because I am a swing trader of the S&P 500 in form of the SPY, aka the SPY, aka Spy Lee. Y'all know who it is, man. I just like to say again, thank you for tuning in. I do this for the free 99. I get on Al Gore's internet. I share my thoughts on the price action, try to show people what a full-time trader would do in a situation. My goal is to help someone out there. You, no, not you. Get out the way. You get your aha moment when it comes to trading, investing, and all things stock market. I want to help you get your aha moment. I want to do with you what the homie Pat, aka PDub, did for me. I was doing this every day. I was kind of sure. I was like, man, I'm okay, but I didn't really understand why it was working the way it was working. I sat down with old PDub during a one-on-one one day. And he was like, Tim, you got this. You want, and then he went through and he said the exact same thing that ICT was saying in his videos. And I was like, aha. Head blown. I got my aha moment. So I'm trying to help you get your aha moment. I don't want you to spend money on courses. I've done it. I've bought courses for $100. I've bought courses for a couple $100. I've bought courses for a few $1,000s. I've done it. Got the plaque to prove it. I've done it. This is the most expensive course I've paid for. I'm not knocking anyone's course, but this is the most expensive course I've ever paid for. And every course I've ever paid for, once I paid for it, I learned that I didn't really need it. I already knew. I know that ain't I wasn't supposed to say it like that. I had known what should have said, but I already knew everything. I was just expensive confirmation. And then sometimes, come here. Y'all come no closer. Closer, get closer. I didn't even get confirmation most of the time. So I don't want you to spend your money. I want you to come here, hang out with me, hang out with Spidey, hang out with gang, chop it up in the chat, right? And just take your money, put in your brokerage account, and trade what you see. I got on discipline over dollars today. Discipline over dollars. Remember the discipline part of it. That's the most important part of trading. Discipline. Discipline that ties into risk management, that ties into saving you from losing a lot of money. All I ask you to do is hit the like button. That's all I ask you to do. I'm giving people time to come in. That's why I'm just running my mouth talking about this. And I'm extending a hearty welcome to anybody that's new. Hey, shout out to homie Zay. Zay ruined my entire, now he ruined my entire, but he took out the need for me to do a big chunk of what I planned on talking about today, right? Because I always try to sprinkle in something here and there because all we do is talk about the price action. But I try to sprinkle in stuff, the why behind the thought process. That's what people don't understand. When it comes to trading and investing, it's more than just a setup. It's cool to have a setup, but When should you execute when you see your setup? Why should you execute when you see your setup? Why should you, as they say, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. When do you hold them? When do you fold them? When do you walk away? And when do you run, Forrest, run? Run, Forrest, run. When? See, that's when it comes to this trading and investing thing, you got to have a well-rounded understanding of everything that affects the stock market, right? Like when we be driving around, I tell Calandra all the time, I be like, Fort Lauderdale is the only city that I got a topographical view of the city, right? Because I was born and raised there. I didn't leave until I was like 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? So every other city I've lived in, like, I don't have a topographical view of the city. If you put me in Lauderdale, I don't even have to be in Lauderdale. But if you tell me what corner you're standing on in Lauderdale, I can instantly see the rest of the city and tell if you need to go west, east, go straight, go backwards, because I can see an overview of the city and I know exactly where you're standing in the city. I can tell you the quickest way to get to where you're trying to get to in another part of the city. I've been living in Columbus since 2002, and I still don't have a topographical view of Columbus. I don't know Columbus that well. But Tim, why you talk about maps and topographical views? Glad you asked that question, Lil Timmy Rogers. Because when it comes to this investing and trading, you got to be a student of the game, and you got to understand all aspects of it, right? So when you see stuff lining up, you know what people be talking about. You hear people talk about stuff about confluence. You hear people talk about stuff like divergence. You hear people talk about stuff like relative strength and relative weakness. Then you understand, oh, I see some divergence over here, and the asset or the stock that I'm watching is showing relative weakness. So I know when the market start moving, since we got relative weakness, we might be slow to rally. You know what I'm saying? But if my asset class or my stock that I'm watching got relative strength, when the market start moving, we might move a little bit faster because we were already strong, because you got a topographical view. You can look down at the market and be like, it's time to fire. Oh, nope, it's time to hold. Oh, nope, yep, I see my setup. It's time to fire. Oh, I see my setup, but it's time to hold. That's why I'm talking about maps. That's why I'm talking about topographical views. And shout out to homie Zay. Let me tell y'all right now, let me share my screen for a second. Then I'm gonna go to the chat. Right? I was going to come in here and I was going to be talking about looking at like the what you call it? See, I got ES versus DXY. Like I was going to be looking at ES versus the dollar, the NQ versus the dollar, the Dow versus the dollar, and I was going to try to see if we can peek it, and automatic off the rip, you can see the relative strength in the Dow versus the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Everybody already know the relative strength being the Dow, because we've been saying the Dow been strong, the Dow been crazy. But today, what I was going to do, I was going to come through and we was going to look at it versus the dollar, because everybody know when the dollar is strong, companies that get their money, get the bulk of their money from overseas, it's bad for them companies. When the dollar is strong, the companies get the bulk of their money from the U.S., it's good for them companies. When the dollar weak, if the bulk of the companies get their money from overseas, that's good for those companies. You know what I'm saying? And if the dollar is strong, the companies that get the bulk of their money from overseas, that's bad for them companies, right? So they typically have an inverse relationship, because a lot of our big companies getting their money from overseas. You see what I'm saying? Like NASDAQ companies, they getting their money from overseas. A lot of the ES company, S&P companies getting their money from overseas. The bigger ones, you know what I'm saying? Your Apples, your Teslas, you know what I'm saying? Nvidias, these big companies, they getting their money from overseas. So when the dollar be strong, it's hurting them boys. You feel me? So I was going to go through and look at like the comparison between, you know what I'm saying, the strong dollar. Is the dollar pulling back? You know what I'm saying? Since the dollar making lows, I was going to go through and see if we can see if it's one that stand out as making higher highs, not making higher high. Like if the dollar making lower lows, right? The ES, the NASDAQ, the Dow should be making higher highs. But I was going to go through to see if we could see one of them that's not making a higher high as we're making lower lows on the Dow. How the dollar made a low and a slightly lower low, right? We was gonna go through and see, hey, let's look here to see if we're making a high and a high and a higher high. You know what I'm saying? Let's look over here to see if we're making a high. I can see right there we made a high and a higher high. We made a right there, we made a low and a lower low. We made a high and a higher high. You know what I'm saying? The ES, we made a low and a lower low. Right there, we made equal highs. You know what I'm saying? And then on the Dow, looking at it, we made a low and a lower low. Right there, we made a high and a lower high. That's some divergence right there. You know what I'm saying? We that high right there, we didn't really make a high there. We make a high to the end. So right there on that low, we actually made a low with it. So that's some form of divergence between the Dow and the. But this is what I was going to be talking about, right? But I'm not going. Actually, I just talked about it a lot, but I ain't gonna try to go in depth in it because the homie Zay, shout out to homie Zay. I was sitting in here right before I got on live, right? And the homie Zay has put up a new setup Sunday. Right, y'all can see I was looking at it. I ain't get all the way through it because I was on live. I was getting ready to come on live. But in here, right, inside here, he talked about using indicators. You see what he said? He got setup Sunday, Saturday rally. He talked. It's some. I would walk through indicators that I use that lead me to believe we could have an early Santa rally and then look for some sort of pullback or correction, right? Now, the indicators he's talking about, he's not talking about like RSI, MACD, and all that. He actually went through there and was looking at, guess what? The freaking dollar. He was looking at the dollar. He was looking right here, US dollar. He's looking at the dollar. He's looking at the bonds. He's looking at, y'all go check out this video. I ain't finished with it yet. It's a good video, but he done came through and took all the idea that I was fun to do today. So Zay, believe me, I'm gonna either be calling you or texting you when I get. If you ain't in here, I'm gonna be calling or text you when I get off this live and be like, you done messed up my whole weekend chart prep. If y'all don't know Zay YouTube page, I'm pretty sure everybody know. I'm gonna copy the link for this video right here, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. And while I'm putting that in the chat, Zay, I see you in here. Zay, I see you in here. Pull up. I'm gonna share the link right now. That's Zay. That's the link to Zay page right there. And now I'm fun to put the link in the top of the chat. Go click the link, Zay. Go click the link so I can look you face to face and tell you all up in my mix right now. Click on the link. It's at the top of the chat. We ain't doing nothing else. And don't be saying, nah, I'm with the wifey right now. I'm with Kennedy. Your wife taking a nap and Kennedy looking at Coco Miller. So click the link and pull up so I can tell you to your face. Hey, man, let's see who in the chat. Let's see who in the chat. What's up here to learn the show? What's going on? Good. There you go. Hey, man, let's see who in the chat. Let's see who in the chat. What's up here to learn the show? What's going on? Good to day. You to YouTube.
Yeah, I had to cut off. I cut the YouTube.
Hey, I want to tell you to your face. I'm sitting up here like, listen, I can't believe
I want you to, but for real, I want you to still go through what you was gonna go through because it only reinforced. And I'm gonna get double confirmation because I want to see what you had to say. Like I had, and for people to they need to know this was totally unplanned. Totally. Like you said, like one of my indicators is the dollar. So I was like, bruh, people need to pay attention. So, bruh, please go through. I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. I'm in the comments like, I need you to go ahead and do it. You went through it, but I want you to go through it. Like you was gonna go through it.
I went through it a little bit, but the thing of it is, I like what you did with it. You did phenomenal. So it's like I'd rather point like I ain't the best at nothing. If I know it's something out there better than what I can give, that's why I said go look at this. because you did phenomenal on your comparison with it. I ain't finished with the whole video yet, but I know what you did all the way through the dollar and getting into the buns. It's been amazing so far. So that's why I'm like, go look at that, because I feel like that's gonna give it better justice than what I can do right here.
What was your thoughts about the dollar? Do you think it's showing weakness, and like what was like again, like what was gonna be your thoughts about it, or what was you gonna say?
Right now, like everything is just pump faking to me right now. I don't have a clear indication on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like the dollar, when I think, okay, the dollar getting weak, it rebound again. When I think the market getting strong, it drop again. So it's like everything pump faking. So it's like we had a weird time where I just ain't got no, like I said the other day, I was like the price action been trash. And then PDub got on your show yesterday and was like, price action been trash for like the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it's been trash since we had the big day.
Yep.
Since we had the big day, we ain't did nothing. It's just went sideways. But what I wanted to say is with the dollar, the reason why I'm looking at it the way I'm looking at it is because of the additional factors that I talk about as far as like, so to me, the dollar looks weak. When you look at it on a weekly projection and then how you want to do your comparison, it's showing weakness. Like it's, you know, and so that shows that, okay, the dollar can have a little bit more weakness. But to your point of pump faking, it goes to what I was talking about earlier, is that I agree. Like we might get one, it might show you a little bit more weakness, but that's the pump fake of the dollar's going to show some weakness. It's going to start the base out, and then that thing could turn around. To your point, like you said, every time I think it's going to get weak, it gets stronger or whatever. Now, how ironic would it be that it gets weak going into this holiday, right? You get a Santa rally, but then, you know, right after Santa rally, we about to go into the FOMC and all that, and then it starts to get stronger. Algos use all that for it to rebound, and it's just, you know, like you said, the algos use the news to do what they want. So yeah, just get ready for the dollar to pump fake, and then it ain't over. That thing gonna be strong, and then we might see a turnaround in the market. But yes, the divergence you're pointing out and those charts you had, I ain't had that. So people need to see that. That was dope. That's all I'm like, man, don't stop, keep going.
But like I say, man, it's like your video was good. I ain't get to the end yet. I got you like in the buns right now. I think he was in the bun. I was like, oh man, it's time to get on live. But it's crazy how great minds think alike. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Dave pulled up on your show. I pulled up, PDub pulled up, and I didn't talk about the price action being trash yesterday on your show. I talked about price action being trash like on one of my lives. Yeah. And then PDub came on and was like, hey, price been trash for like the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think everybody agree, like outside of individual names, the market, it's been.
Yeah. And so it's like we had a time where like, how can you can't really call nothing, because we had such a weird time where it's like I really think we had a position where the powers that be trying to shake out all of us retail people. You know what I'm saying? Because
but the shakeout is the people that are short.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. They trying to shake out the retail people, because it's like it's so much retail interest in like short term, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because it's not only retail interest in short term, it's big interest in short term too. Yeah. But but the retail money is shorter than the big people money. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and shake them out. You know what I'm saying? Once we shake them out, get them real scared, it's like now we're gonna go ahead and make our money, because like they can go out there and lose, you know what I'm saying, a few million in the short term, because they hedged in the long term, you know what I'm saying, with a couple billion. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They playing a whole different game.
Yeah, they playing a whole different game. And so it's like even when you look at like the quarterly shift, it's like I was looking at my charts right before I started watching your video, and I was looking at to see if I can see like a clear quarterly shift where, you know what I'm saying, how we started dropping in the summer. You know what I'm saying? When we started dropping in the summer, like around what was it, like August, July? No, after July, so August. Yeah, and we started dropping in August, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can see signs of a clear quarterly shift. And it's still not clear. Even though we look like we trying to form a bottom, it's not clear to the upside. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't
But
know.
see,
But yeah, man, it's like, you know, everybody, y'all know it's all fun and games. Zay,
yeah,
my
I
dude.
just had to pull up, boy. But like I
Yeah.
said, man, still do your thing. I wanted to see, you know, I'm gonna let you do your show, rock out, man. We're gonna see what's in the mind of Lil Timmy Riders. I'm gonna go ahead and rock out, man.
We just want to talk about the charts now, because Zay got the comparison for everybody. Go, I got the link in the chat. The link right here for Zay YouTube video is right there. Go check it. If you ain't seen it, go check it out. And support.
And look, tell them they can use the timestamp to skip right to the dollar.
Oh yeah, they got time. Yeah, let me put the screen back up and show that. Let me put the screen back up and show that. He got the timestamp. He got the timestamp ad. I said ad. There you go. He got the timestamps and everything. Let me go back to the video. I see I be closing tabs so quick. Let me go to my history. Right? This old lady right here be so funny. Like
pushing her grandkids out, boy.
Okay, so right here, if you go to Zay video and go to the what's name, he got it timestamped for you. But don't even worry about all them timestamps. Just click on the beginning and watch it to the end. But if you just need to get somewhere, he got timestamps on there for you. Click at the beginning and watch to the end. Support my dude. Yeah, man. He got all the gems in there for you, man.
I'm gonna let you watch.
Oh, what did I just hit?
Nothing.
Oh, I got to remove that. Boom, there you go. I appreciate you, Zay. We gonna I'm gonna holler at the chat, then we gonna get on these charts.
All right, bro.
Tell the wife and the kids I said hello.
I heard you.
All right, man. Hey, who in the chat? Who in the chat? Who in the chat? I appreciate the homie Zay. Michelle Tucker, what's going on? Now that we 20 minutes in, cool it now. Ooh, watch out. What's up, cool it? Yes. Joyous Sunday. Hey, my son drove us to church today in the Bourbon. He was driving the big boy truck today. Today was his first time driving the big boy truck. I was proud of him. He didn't panic. He ain't panic at the disco. He did a good thing. What's up, lover? What's going on, finest Superman? It got me. What's going on? What's up, Captain Kirk? What's up, Otis? Expensive confirmation. What were we talking about back then? I can't remember. Chart reading is the most difficult part for me. Yep, just got to learn how to let the candles talk to you. Got to learn how to let them talk to you, and trust. What I found to help me, and that's why I realized I'm not a day trader. Zooming out and watching it play out. That's what helped me. Zooming out and watching it play out helped me. And then you can start to see it on the lower time frames. But the lower time frames move a whole lot faster. So if you don't have a nice cushion on your risk management, the lower time frame beat you up. But zooming out and watching it play out, that's what helped me. And I'll explain that when we get on the charts. Right? What's up, Gabriel? What's going on, my guy? Speaking of Sunday football, Ward out there, he was looking at Atlanta and in Chicago. He an Atlanta fan. Y'all know that. Yo, Bug, man. What's up, KC? That's what I am. What's up, KC? Where the rest of the Sunshine Band? The homies say, I see. What's up, Robinson? What's up, everybody? And Robinson. When I told, hey, y'all remember when I said when I said get out the way, that's who I was talking about right there. Robinson, this guy right here. See the guy right here with the humongous Bluetooth in his ear. He ain't got like no Beats Bluetooths or no Apple AirPods. He got that big Sprint telecommunicator Bluetooth in his ear. I was talking about that dude right there. Oh yeah, Michelle Tucker say she just watched Zay videos. Good stuff. There you go. That's the confirmation. What's going on, Margot? Hey, we're going to get to the price section. If you're new here and you don't understand what I'm doing right now, I'm shouting at my family. We're going to get to the price section. If you don't like it. If you don't like it. No, go watch Zay video. I'm not doing it. I gave you a sneak peek of a piece of what I was going to talk about. Y'all are, and y'all seen the y'all saw the little charts and everything. That's the only piece of it I'm talking about. Go watch Zay's video. He did a good job. What's going on, Todd? What's up, RM? Sorry about that. What's going on, FC? Father of Legends. What's happening? Yes, sir. Otis talk to you, Captain Kirk. To understand the charts, you need to understand the candlestick analysis. That's true. That's a gem right there. Who had said that earlier? Was that who said that earlier? Finding Superman? Yeah, Finding Superman. Hey, Superman, talk to Captain Kirk. There you go, right there. But yeah, Finding Superman. That's it. Understand the candlestick analysis first. Like if you can understand what the candlestick's saying, you can understand what the price action's saying, because the candlesticks is like the sentences, if you will, like well, let's say like the candlestick, like the open, close, high, and low. Those are the words in that sentence, right? The open, high, low, and the close are the words. The whole candlestick is the sentence, right? And then when you start putting the candlesticks together, now you get in a paragraph. You know what I'm saying? And then when you start blowing up to higher time frames, now you get in a chapter. And the higher the time frames you go up, you know what I'm saying? It's like you start putting it all together. You be like, oh, okay, that word said the, you know what I'm saying? And then so now it says the price will go up to here, but turn around and come back down to here because they left this here. And once they did, and you start to read the candles. That's it. That's it. But we're gonna talk about it. Yes, emotions of the market. That's it. Emotions of the market. That's it right there. I love that. I like that better than the sentence and all that. Y'all, let's get into it. Y'all done got me hyped up now. Let's go to Trader View. Y'all know why I want to go to trade. And for anybody who want to see the pictures again, here you go. Screenshot it. It's ES versus the dollar. This the one right here, right? My primary thing I was gonna be going through is looking at the price action and looking at any kind of indication of divergence that we got coming up on these with the three main indices versus the dollar. You know what I'm saying? And try to see if we can carve out a clear path of what it might be doing. That's all I was going to be going through. Here's the NQ versus the dollar right there, right? And as we pointed out, we saw like the NQ was showing higher highs versus the lower lows. So that's normal. That's not a divergence. That's normal right there. You know what I'm saying? The Dow was showing some type of divergence here. You see what I'm saying? We made a lower low there, but we didn't make a higher high here. Right? From there to there, let me get a line. I need to get a line. Drag this over here. Right? When I go there, it should be a higher high right there. It's not. That's divergence on there. That, you know what I'm saying? That's the main thing I was looking for on those. And then that we did the ES. That's the ES. That's the NQ. I mean, that's the Dow, and that's the NQ. Yep. Don't screenshot them if you want to go back and look at it. But we coming over here to holler at our homegirl. If you want the a good breakdown of it, go look at Zay's video. The link in the chat. We wrote a song to our friend. Y'all want to hear it? Here it goes. Sing it with me. Spotline, where you at? Hey, Spotline, you came up early. Let's back up and do that again. Spotline, where you at, baby? Here I go. Hey, how you doing? I'm glad that you came through. Spotline, don't be trying to come in early on me. We're gonna do the charts together on the ES. Let's go to the ES and do the charts. I'll do the Spotline chart by myself later. It's all the same stuff, but since I got junk on the Spotline that I don't feel like moving, we just gonna go do it on the ES. Now, y'all know what I like to do when I'm getting ready to prep my charts, right? I like to go back. I like to go way back. Go back in time. Go back to a monthly to see where we are, right? I like just look back to see what we've done. We already know what we did for the year so far. We going down, right? We came down from the beginning of the year up into October, right? From the beginning of the year to October, all we did was come down. We came all the way down right here to this order block. We had a 2-month order block that we made in September 2020 and October 2020, right? We had a 2-month order block right there that we made, right? And if you come up to the wicks, we got into it, right? If you go from peak to trough of this order block, we got into it, right? If you go to the bodies, we haven't got into it yet. On the ES, we haven't got into it yet. That's another reason why I'm like, it ain't really clear that we ready to blast off, because we came so close to the body of this order block and we did not touch it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, still feel like downside, right? And then if you go look at the NQ real quick, right? Let's look at the NQ real quick. Look at all of this downside. Remember, we marked this stuff out before. We did get to this fair value gap right there on the NQ, right? We did get to that one in October. I can't remember when we marked this out, but we did get to this one in October, this fair value gap. But look, we still have 1, 2 more fair value gaps before you even get to the same confirmation move, right? There you go. This is like the confirmation move on the no, this was the confirmation move up here. We passed the confirmation move on the NQ. We're getting back down to the 2020 high. This is February, right? So we're past the confirmation move on the NQ, but we look at all this downside gap work that we still. This is a monthly liquidity void right here. This is a monthly liquidity void. That meaning for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a row in 2020, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months in a row. Only thing we did was offer buy side. We only offered buy side for 5 months in a row in 2020 on the NQ. And now the market look like it's coming back to offer that sell side, and we still ain't got down there, and it ain't showing no signs of like really slowing down for real. A bounce, yeah, a bounce is fine, but it ain't showing no real reversal signs. You see what I'm saying? It ain't showing no reversal signs, because in the overall picture, right, on the monthly time frame on the NQ, right, we are still in a sale program on the monthly level. You see what I'm saying? We still in the sale program on the higher time frames, right? We're respecting the resistance, right? We coming down, we came up, made equal highs right there, right? Made equal highs right there. Slid down again, right? Slid down, heavy distribution after making them equal highs, didn't even take them. Heavy distribution to the downside, right? Came up, got back up into the wick of this up close candle right there. Heavy distribution down. Look at them 2 big months down, right? And then how you can tell if the big boys are, if we're still in the sale program. Did I say sale program last time or buy? If I said buy, I jollipies, I meant sale. I can't remember what I said, but whenever you get, like, if you're in a sale program or a buy program, right? Whenever you get a candle of the opposite color, right? Like how we got this green up close candle. I ain't gonna say green. When we got an up close candle, because everybody colors ain't green. When we got an up close candle here in March, look at the heavy distribution we got in April, and then it continued in May. That's a telltale sign that the big boys were selling during this up candle right here. The big boys were selling during that up candle. You know what I'm saying? They were going short. They were selling, because once the month closed, it closed green, and then we got heavy distribution to the downside, right? Then we come over here. Look at July. It went up, and then we got heavy distribution in August and September. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we're coming up, and now here we go in the beginning of November, right? And so now, are we going to respect this order block right here? We came up, got almost to equilibrium, and we giving a slight pushback. November's not over yet, so we don't know if we can still pop up, get a little higher, and slide down, or we don't know if we can just take off and say, forget you, punk, I'm gone. But it's still showing weakness, right? I know that's the NQ, but the NQ has already blown past the confirmation move. This was the start of the bull market rally in 2020. This was the confirmation move for the NQ, right? Pop over here to the Dow, right? This right here was the start of the bull market rally right here, right? This was the confirmation, and this was an order block, right? They set an order block right there, right? So now this was the start, this was the confirmation, this was an order block, right? When we came back to that order block, we pushed up, came back to this order block, we pushed back down and came where? Into the confirmation order block. We still haven't gotten to the body, right? Still haven't gotten to the body at the confirmation. But the difference between the Dow and the NQ and the ES, the confirmation move on the Dow is below the 2020 high. Right? The Dow confirmation move was below the 2020 high. Why? Because tech was leading. You know what I'm saying? So the Dow and the ES confirmation move is above the 2020 high. You see what I'm saying? So now that we've come down and now we got to see, are we going to really respect this order block? Because we came up and we respected it once. You see what I'm saying? When we hit that order block, heavy distribution back down to the downside. Now we blast off here in the month of October, right? Mean blast off, right? November, we pulled back. We still strong in November, right? What are we going to do once we run this high, right? Once we run that high, what are we going to do? Are we going to keep up? Are we going to keep up and start pushing toward new highs? Or are we going to run this high, still respect this order block and come back down? Because y'all know what I say about wicks. Whenever we run liquidity like this and get a long wick, we always revisit that wick. And now that we're revisiting this wick, are we going to stay within it and fail? Are we going to take the highs, run the buy side? Because you know, people got sell stops up here. I mean, buy stops. People got buy stops up here because look here. Look at that heavy distribution. So you know it's a gang of buy stops sitting right up there because we got heavy distribution. What's the best place to attack if you wanna you keep on falling? If you want to fall, what's the best thing to attack? Buy stops. Buy stops. Imagine these sell stops down here that got rated, right? What's the best thing to pair in? Like all these sell stops that got rated down here. Well, Tim, how you know the sell stops got rated? I'm glad you asked that question, Lil Timmy Rogers. When we came down here in September and we rated these lows right here, look at this October candle. Pow! Totally reversed everything from September. And now October is continuing. I mean, November is continuing to push. What's the best place to deliver sell stops to? Buy stops. And once you get them buy stops, what's the best place to deliver buy stops to? Sell stops. That's why I say it's still looking weak. It's still looking heavy. When you look across all the indices, everything still look heavy. It's still, yeah. In the short term, we've been in a buy program on the ES. We've been talking about that. We've been in a buy program on the ES in the short term, right? But in the long term, look at over the long term, where we are now. We're right here. We got poked up above equilibrium on this order block right here. And then we came back and closed roughly right at equilibrium right there, right? We closed right at equilibrium. We poked above it, closed right at equilibrium. Let's just check it while we together. 59, 39, 57, 75. Right there. We look at God. Look at God. 39, 74. 39, 57, 75. That's close enough for government work for me. That's close. That's right at equilibrium. 25 points. Right at, not even 25, 20 points. Let's say 20 points. Right at equilibrium right there. Right? So we closed that equilibrium so far. The month ain't over. So we don't know, you know what I'm saying, what it want to do. Now, let's go in and start peeking what we got on the monthly level. This is the highest swing high. This is the lowest swing low from this is the highest, this is the lowest. We do have a monthly high right here. This is the swing, but we do have a monthly high right there. So that's the closest monthly high right there. So that's what we're gonna mark out. Closest monthly low, closest monthly high. I noticed there's a swing low. So on an extended time frame, you want to look at the actual swings, the market swings. But you know what I'm saying? For now, I'm using just the prior month. I'm using the prior month because I'm just looking, you know what I'm saying, the prior, the closest high behind us, the closest low behind us. So I'm going to the prior month. I mean, not the prior month, but the closest month behind us, right? Instead of going to the swing high. You know what I'm saying? Technically, I like to use the swing high, but since we on the monthly level, the only reason I would go back to the swing high in this case is if I was looking at, like, I'm trying to plan out for a year or two out. But since I'm only trying to plan out for a few months out, a couple weeks to months out, I'm just going back to the closest high. Hopefully I explained that good enough. Monthly box top. All right. Monthly box bottom. Boom. Get out of here, order block. What you doing? How you still on my screen? Let's see what else I want to look at. Okay. I'm gonna keep this in mind. So if we get up and break this high, I'm gonna be watching this potential order block right here. I'm not gonna mark it because the month not over yet. But once we break this, I'm gonna keep this September candle in mind as a potential order block. I'm not gonna mark out this monthly order block right here since we've already surpassed 50% and we're like hovering right around 50%. I'm not gonna bother marking that out. So that's gonna pretty much do it on the monthly as to what I want to mark out. Keep in mind we got a long wick on this candle right here on the September candle. So once we drop down to the lower time frames, I'm gonna be watching for this for a potential rejection block area. But I like to have multiple equal candles showing long wicks to, like, here I would look at this as a rejection block, maybe, even though them candles ain't quite even. It's close enough for government work, but we got 2 wicks on it. But since it's only 1 long wick there, I'm gonna keep in mind for that on lower time frames to see, you know what I'm saying, if that's of any interest to me. That's all I want to mark on the monthly right now. And hopefully I didn't confuse anybody with the when I was talking about what the different indices were doing as far as like what they've come back to, how much they've pulled back and what they've come back to and all of that right there. Hopefully I was clear on that. If it wasn't clear, say, hey, Tim, you weren't clear. You lost me. And then I'll try to help out. First thing I see when I come into here, I see a weekly order block right here below price. That's the first thing I see, below price. Y'all know what I should, once I get down to the daily, we'll look at the IP, the look back. Matter of fact, let's do that right now before we start marking. Now that I thought about it, let's look at the IP, the look back right now. And looking at the IP, the look back, I don't want to do it from today. I want to go back to the beginning of the month and see what we've done so far in the first half of the month. So we're gonna put it back to the beginning of these are weekly candles. So let's go to once we drop down to daily candles, I'll do it. I'll do it once we drop down to daily candles because we're on the weekly chart and I don't feel like dropping down and coming back up. Okay, so on the weekly chart, the first thing I noticed below price is this order block right here. So got a weekly order block right there. Order block. This is a bullish order block. Weekly. Boom. Weekly bullish order block. We got a weekly low right here. Weekly low. This is all this stuff that pop out um that I see off rip on the weekly low box bottom. All right, we got a weekly low there. Um we got a weekly high right up there. That's from last week. Weekly box top. We got a weekly high right there. um Again, watching this really long wick right here, watching that for a potential rejection block area. I'm not going to mark it because I like for my rejection blocks to be multiple candles, but I'm watching this really long wick right here as a potential rejection block as we, maybe break this high and look into that area right there. I'm just keeping that a mental note of that since it's only one candle, but it's got a really, really long wick. So you know what I'm saying? Some liquidity was ran right there. So when liquidity get ran like that, that's a potential rejection block area because the market has already ran some type of liquidity. And then once it comes back to that area, it'll act as a rejection block. But I prefer to see my rejection blocks in a place like this, like at this swing high up here, right? Where it's like, this is a swing high true, but there's another one just above it. You see what I'm saying? That's like real close to it. So that right there, that's got the potential to be a rejection block, but I like to watch for the rejection blocks here, whereas we just ran out buy side liquidity and then push down. So when we come back up into that area, the buy side liquidity was just ran out. So there's no reason to try to go higher. Whereas when it's the second one, after we've ran the buy side over here, it's got the potential, but I'm not really looking for the rejection block there because there's buy side liquidity sitting up here now. Whereas over here, this buy side liquidity got taken. Bow! Took the buy side liquidity. Sold off. If we had a long wick there, then I would be looking for it to act as a rejection block because we just took buy side. So the potential is higher for it to be a rejection block. Whereas here, the buy stops are sitting up here now above this high. And then now when we come back up, right, and reject off of this fair value gap, coming back up to this right here doesn't read rejection block to me because there's buy stops sitting up here. The rejection block is to reject it after the buy stops have been ran. That's the way Lil Timmy Rogers understand it. So that's why I'm not marking it. That's why I'm just like, I'm looking at it for a potential. And plus it's only one candle. If it was multiple candles here, then it'd give it a little bit more weight because it is buy stops above there. And I believe buy stops are more appetizing if they haven't been recently run. We came into, I said this order block over there. We got another order block down here. That's really far away from price, so I'm not gonna mark it because it's outside of the weekly box. It's more in the monthly box, and since price is so high right now, I'm not gonna bother marking this order block right here until price shows that it wants to start coming down. Keep in mind, let me see. Somebody keep in mind that 38, that 38.40, just say 38.44 level. Somebody keep in mind that for me when it dropped down to the daily time frame. That's let's keep in mind 38.45. 38.45.50 is the equilibrium on this order block. Somebody keep in mind 38.45 for me. I want to see what that lines up with on a daily time frame, because and the reason why I want to see what that line up with, because looking at the way price ended the week off last week, right? Since we came up, we wicked off of this, came down, and then we closed the end of the week strong right there, right? So if this indecision, because y'all know prior to going to last week, I was like, I want to come down and take care of some of this gap work and then go up. I was like, give me a nice red week, come down here, get this gap work, and then we can blast off a little bit for like a rally, like a Santa rally, right? We didn't come as low as I wanted. We did come down. We did get a slight red week, but it was nowhere near what I wanted. I wanted it to come down and get some of this gap work, right? And the reason why I'm saying I want to remember that 38.45 number, because I want to see what it lines up on a daily, because I would love to see like tomorrow. I mean, next week is a short week. We got a short week next week, so I don't know how it's going to play out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's going to be like volatile. I don't know if it's going to be like a blast off, a tank, a nothing burger. I don't know what it's going to be, because we got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a half a day on Friday. So I don't know what we're going to get from that. On a typical bullish week, I would like to see it come down. You know what I'm saying? Hit this order block on the weekly level, come down, run the weekly lows, take out the weekly lows that'll put us into this weekly order block, and then blast off, right? Heading toward, take the sell stops, head toward the buy stops. That's what I would love to see. Early in the week, sell off, toward the latter of the end of the week, blast off, head toward the buy stops, right? Will we get that next week? I don't know, but I want to see what it line up with on the daily level at that 38.45. Let's look at equilibrium to see where we at. Look at that. That'll put us right up. Look at the equilibrium. Look at the equilibrium right there. 38.33, close enough to 38.45. Equilibrium of the overall is pretty much right at equilibrium of that order block. We got an order block right at equilibrium. That lines up with, let's pull back to this order block and then go. That would be healthy price action, in my opinion. Y'all see we marking it out right now, and it's all just lining up. It's all just lining up. I think that's all I want to mark on the weekly. Let's drop down to the daily. All right, let's go to the daily. First thing I see on the daily is an order block right here. We already got the weekly marked out, so I'm not going to mark this daily, right? Okay, so the wick of this order block is right at 38.48. That's right around 38.45. Appreciate that. Here to learn and share. Appreciate that 100. I appreciate y'all for putting that in there. What's government work, Tim? I used to work for the government, so it's like, hey, they gotta be perfect. Long as you know what I'm saying, long as you in the ballpark. Ballparks are kind of big now. Take that for what it's worth. Hey, so that's lining up at a good spot for me. We got down, as we remember, we had got down into that 4-hour mitigation block. We didn't get into that daily breaker right here, right? We got an order block, a weekly order block that's lining up with the daily breaker that we had marked out before, right? So I'm gonna leave the weekly order block. I'm not going. Before, I remember we marked out this daily breaker right here. This was the daily breaker that we marked out, right? So on the weekly level, it's lining up with this breaker, right? This fair value gap, this daily fair value gap that we had got into, we haven't quite got down to equilibrium on that. Equilibrium on that daily fair value gap would be right at 3,900. So we haven't gotten down to equilibrium on that fair value gap yet. So there's a daily fair value gap that's right here that I'll put on there, because we did come down to a 4-hour mitigation block that we took off the chart. We took off the chart already. So I'll put that daily fair value gap on there, because we haven't got to equilibrium on that. That is a bullish fair value gap. Right. And then we got this order block down here that lines up with our 38.45 level. That's that, you know what I'm saying? That's all. is lining up with our equilibrium. I forgot I marked it out, but I didn't even put the line. How y'all got me slipping like this, man? Y'all got me slippity slipping. 38, 38, 50. 38, 38, 50. Equilibrium.
Yes.
What Atlanta just did, Water? What they just do? What that?
Yeah.
What they do?
They just picked it up for 1 minute left.
What they up?
Huh?
What they up?
Yeah, they up by 3.
Atlanta up by 3, and they just intercepted with 1 minute left in the game. Equilibrium. What am I looking for? Range equilibrium. Golly, I had a brain cramp just then. Man, why does it look so small? It's already on 2. Change that color. Make it stand out a little bit. Okay. So then the equilibrium on the weekly level. All right, so the equilibrium on the weekly level. All right. Okay, let's go. It was the start of that week, last week. So that's the 3rd, November 3rd. So that was from the 31st, from here. All right. Bring this over so. Right here. I done got quiet. Y'all can tell I'm concentrating. I got a quiet on y'all. Okay. All right. And then man, we got a small daily candle. Right, little teeny tiny daily candle. Golly, is little. Little teeny tiny daily candle. What's that? 39.68. 39.68.25. Okay, so got all my equilibriums marked out. Got all my equilibriums marked out since y'all had me slipping. And then got a daily swing low right there. So that's sell side. We got some sell side resting below that. Oh man, look how all this lining up. All this is like lining up now for the healthy price section that I was just talking about. Now, let me mark this real quick before I start talking about that. Daily box bottom. I'm gonna change this to sell side liquidity. Change that to sell side liquidity because I'm gonna put daily low right here. All right. I'm gonna put daily low right here. That's gonna be the daily low. Daily box bottom. All right. So that's the daily low. And then I'll put daily high right here. Now, in case y'all wondering why I named those two different things, in case y'all wondering why I changed this right here to sell side liquidity and left this right here as daily low, because I wanted to make a distinguish between Friday's low and Thursday's low. And the reason why I want to make a distinguish between it is because looking at price action, right? We came up, right? Made a swing high, came back down into this daily order block right here, right? And this is what I'm talking about. This is on the buy side. You can see that the big boys were buying on this down day right here, right? The algos were collecting longs right here on this down day. They were collecting longs. The big boys get into their longs on down days and get into their shorts on up days, right? So they was collecting longs here, came to this order block, right? The order block did its job. The order block is a reference point. We're coming back to this point for a reason. They wanted to block the price from going any lower, right? So when they hit that order, we took off, right? That's how you can tell they was collecting longs right here. We got pang out, right? So now we got a breaking market structure here, right? Then we came up and we consolidated, right? Ran out some sell side liquidity above this right here. Went up, ran out the sell side, ran out the buy side, made a long wick, right? Came up into the rejection block, pound, took it down. That's what I was saying about when you run out the buy side and make that long wick, that's what makes it more, you know what I'm saying, appealing as a rejection block, because we just took buy side liquidity. And so when the market goes back up, there's no need to continue up because we just ran buy side right there. So that acts as the rejection block, right? So we pulled back down off the rejection block, right? We came down into that 4-hour mitigation block. Remember, it was a mitigation block there. We tapped into this fair value gap, but we haven't hit equilibrium yet. So that's why I left it on there. So coming down to that 4-hour mitigation block that we had marked before, then we wicked up off of it. And then we had a nothing burger on Friday. Now, what have we done since we had that nothing burger on Friday? That set us up with a higher low right there on the daily, right? Remember before when we was talking about the risk to reward, right? Remember we was talking about the risk to reward, whereas before the previous low we had was way down here. That was the previous low, right? Then we was like, if we slide to the right for long enough, people will start to respect this as support and start and put their sales stop, their buy stops below buy stops, put their sales stops below the consolidation, right? Now, we have made a higher low right there on the daily. So what's going to be resting below that low? Sales stops. That's why I put sell side liquidity here, right? That's why I put sell side liquidity there and daily low there, because now there's a nice look accumulation of sales stops sitting below this swing low right here, right? Sitting below this swing, because we came down into a mitigation block, right? That's all the people over here that went short coming down this way right here, they're trapped now. So we came down into this mitigation block, stopped right at the top of this breaker, because this high broke this low. So we stopped right at the top of the breaker, and then we pushed up back into the consolidation. So now we've set up a nice higher low for people to buy up under, You know what I'm saying? So now the smart money have a higher low to come down and buy up under to take it up. You see what I'm saying? So now healthy price action again, right? That's why I was like, let me know about that 38.45. Appreciate that 100. Appreciate that. Here to learn and share, right? If we come back down to that 38.45, that equilibrium of that weekly, let's put a line at that price. We said 38.45, right? 38.45. So 38.45 right there. That's good enough. Let me get it on 38.45. Nice round number. Style. Let's we'll leave it black. Red, not yellow. We'll leave it black. Dim it down a little bit so we can see through it. Okay. All right. So now that 38.45 number that we was talking about at that order block. Now look how it's all lining up, right? Now we talked about that order block on the weekly before we even marked anything out. But now look at where that number lines up. Remember we was on the weekly. All we had was the top and bottom line. Let's put this in the folder together. I don't need this TDA no more because that's the old one. Delete. That's our old TDA right there. That's all the old junk we had. I don't need this one no more because we just did new one. Now, okay, so going there when we first talked about it, right? That's all we had, right? That's all we had, and we was on the weekly chart pretty much, and I was like looking at this order block, and I was like, let me know what the mid price of that order block is, because that below price, that's the first PDA we get to this weekly order block. So if we pull back to that weekly order block, it'll do its job. If we get to equilibrium and push up, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to go past equilibrium. So I'm giving it from the high to equilibrium to do its job. I don't want it to go past that. That's why I was like, let me know what that 38.45 is, right? Now that we know what the 38.45 is on the lower time frames, now let's drop back down to the daily and look at what's transpiring in that area, right? So in that area, the 38.45, that puts us right at equilibrium for the overall time frame, right? Which is a good place. You come up, right? You took out buy side liquidity right here. We took out the buy side liquidity, right? Came up, got into this fair value gap over here. This big daily fair value gap, wick down off of it, right? The rejection block held up. The price didn't want to go higher. Went up into the rejection block and sold back down. Came back down and touched there. Now, is this as low as the algos want to go before bouncing? I don't know. Could be. But in my opinion, healthy price action would be to come back down, fill in this gap, this daily gap right here, take care of the gap work, stop at the order block right here at the equilibrium of the weekly order block, right here at the daily order block, right there at equilibrium of the overall range, and then bounce. So all of this right here, all of that just based off of eyeballing it on the weekly, saying, let me know what's going on with this number at this order block. Now we got lower time frame confluence of, yes, that would be healthy price action, because now with this closure here, it's giving us new sell side liquidity to run. So now the risk to reward of going long, right? Now you're, what's the thing I had to hit? Long position. Now your risk to reward for going long, just say if we just went long from where we closed at on Friday, right? Now your risk to reward for going long, right? We're just gonna put it a little bit below. This is the low. We're just go low to high instead of just trying to put it. We're just gonna go low. Boom. That's the low. This is your low hanging fruit. Your low hanging fruit. It's a 1.2 risk to reward. Your target, this high right here, it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward. With this swing low being in play right now, whereas before the only thing we had was all the way down here, and it was a negative risk to reward. Now we got, God dog it, Tim. Now we got a new swing low in play that gives the risk to reward a bit. Look, it's looking prettier. It's looking prettier to go ahead and try to scale in, right? Now, what would be healthy would be to pull back and take care of this gap work before proceeding up. That would be healthy. Is this the pullback right here that the algos want? We don't know. We don't know. But we still have not going up. This rejection block did its job. We came down, right? Bounced off the mitigation block. Now, let's see how next week play out and see if we get the pullback and then the takeoff. Because remember, bullish activity, we want the we want the pullback, then the takeoff. Bearish activity, we want the rally, then the pullback, right? So if we want it to be bullish, we want to see the pullback, then the rally. Will it happen next week? Don't know. It's a short week. Will it happen over 2 weeks? Could, because it's a short week. Will they squeeze out? Shout out to homie Zay. Like on the short weeks this week, the homie Zay was talking about the other day, it's been short squeezes. All the short weeks been short squeezes. So they can come out here and take off and squeeze out people like Lil Timmy Rogers that jumped into them puts to mitigate the losses that I was taking on them that day trade calls I was trying to take, and got locked out of my platform before I can put in my stop loss and had to end up holding it overnight. And so the next day when I got in, I just bought some puts to offset. You know what I'm saying? They can go ahead and just try to squeeze me out. But we'll see how it play out, man. That's all I got as far as the weekend chart prep, man. That's, like I say, I ain't got no clear indication, nothing. We just been consolidating. You know what I'm saying? This still where I think the market make a sell model, buy model. I think that's the end destination of it, right? Above this high. I still think that's where we going to take out these highs, right? When will we get there? I don't know. Nothing is a straight line. We won't just go straight there. We've been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We consolidated for 6 days after this humongous move. So there's no clear draw on liquidity right now, right? There's no clear draw on liquidity. We're still in a premium for the overall dealing range. We're in a premium. So for the overall dealing range, right? Since we're in a premium, if Lil Timmy Rogers was trying to get into something, I will be looking to the short side because we're in a premium. I sell in a premium, buying the discounts, right? If I'm not in anything in already now, and I'm trying to get into something, I'm waiting for the move to give me a setup, right? If the setup is to pop up and look for a short, I'm definitely looking for the short. If the setup is to start pulling back, I'm waiting for it to get back down here, especially to this area right here, before trying to go long. Because coming back to this area, you're looking for this order block to do its job. You're looking for this order block to do its job. And that's all bringing it back to equilibrium. Because once you hit a premium PDA right here, which we did, this fair value gap, you're looking for price to come back to at least equilibrium. And you're looking for it to get to a discount. But looking at the discount, there's really nothing appetizing down here for the buy model that we're in right now, the buy program that we're in, right? Since we're in a buy program on the lower time frames, we're looking for price to respect these down closed candles. And remember, we got down closed candles all in this area here. So this starting from the bottom, right? We set an order block here, traded back into that order block, took off, right? This order block, I mean, these candles came back down into this order block right here, right? We traded back down into the order block, took off, set another order block, traded back down into that order block, right? Set another order block right here, traded back down into that order block, took off, set another order block, right? So with this buy program we're in, we're looking for it to come back and respect this order block. And this order block lines up with the weekly, lines up with the equilibrium. So that's all I got. That's all I got. Let's see what y'all talk about in the chat. We've been on here for 1:15. 100 and Zay talking. You was clear. Appreciate that. What's up, Roman? Roman, should I say? What's up? He was clapping because you finally added equilibrium to the chart. Yeah, go wash your hands. Yes, he always fires shots. What a beast. What I do? I ain't did now. Hey, my mom in here. What's up? How you doing, baby? How you doing? Hey, Pumpkin, you hungry? You want something to eat? Me and the boys will bring you something to eat if you want to. Put a 1 in the chat if you want something to eat, Pumpkin. Just let me know what you want. Long consolidation lead to big moves. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Long consolidation do lead to big moves. It does. And right now at this juncture, let's say I think we about to squeeze like crazy this week. Yeah. It's setting up. It's setting up for it. But like I say, what I think healthy price action would be to run these lows and then push up and take out the highs and eventually get back to this high, finish this market maker buy model. You know what I'm saying? Boom, take these lows, take off, hit the highs. You see what I'm saying? And then maybe, you know what I'm saying, start to pull back a little bit. That's what I'm thinking, right? Take these highs at least. Maybe even try to take those, but at least take these highs and then start to pull back a little bit. Because right now, it's just still not really clear what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's not really, it might be clear to somebody else, but it's not really clear to me what we're trying to do. Because when I put it on like weekly candles like this right here, when I put it on weekly candles like this, right, we still in a downtrend. You see what I'm saying? We still in a downtrend when I put it on weekly candles, right? And we just made an indecision candle on the weekly. Right? Let me hide this for a second. That's why I say it's still not clear to me. For anybody who, you know what I'm saying, wondering why I say, oh, it ain't clear to me what we trying to do, because on the higher time frame, we're still, you know what I'm saying, in a sell program. And the reason why I say we still in the sell program on a higher time frame is because when we got into this order block right here, we got into the order block, right? And then stopped as if, okay, I'm going to try to shake something. But then this week, we wicked off of it. You know what I'm saying? We wicked off of it. So it's like, as of last week, we still respecting this up close candle. So out of just basic price action, since we still respecting that up close candle, we're still in a sell program on the higher time frame. But y'all already know what I say. Anytime the higher time frame starts showing an inkling, it be playing out on the lower time frame, right? So on the lower time frame, we've been in a buy program since October 13th, right? We've been in a buy program since October 13th, but we're just now getting to the point on the weekly, right, where we may be starting to show signs of a buy program right here. If we come down and respect this order block, that's the confirmation for me of, okay, we starting to buy program on the weekly, right? If next week we come down, or if next week we just keep going up, Okay, we're respecting it because we didn't hit the body, but we came down into it a little bit, right? So we just made it. I would like to see us come back to it. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just the first. Y'all know how order blocks. Zay, get off my screen, Zay. Wait, get off my screen. Y'all know how order blocks work, right? When you come up and you make the order block, right? The like this counter right here, when we touch, like when we make it on the very next counter, if we trade down into it, you can buy that. You know what I'm saying? That's the Risky Roger, Reckless Rachel entry on an order block. You can buy that, right? But the confirmation entry of the order block is going away from it and then coming back to it. That's the real entry on an order block. But the Risky Randy, Reckless Rachel entry, if you want to double tap the order block, is once we make the order block, if on that very next candle we come back to it, you can buy that or sell it on in any side. You know what I'm saying? You can buy that or sell it on the other, going the other way, right? And then once we go away from it, right? Just say we go away from it and run this high right here, right? Finish off this fair value gap right there and start to pull back down. This is when on the pull back down. Get me an arrow, right? So, right, we make the order block. This candle right here, we come back down, touch it. You can buy that, right? MF, can you buy that? Right? When you push away from it, let's say we come up here and run these highs, feel that fair value gap, right? And then when you come back to it, that's when you're looking to buy, right there. That's when you're looking to buy when you come back to it like that. That's how order blocks work, right? And you're looking for the ping out right there. Take out that high right there. That's when you're looking to buy off order. But Risky Randy and Reckless Rachel, you can enter here, right? Take off, exit here, come back down, enter again, take off, low-hanging fruit, destination. You see what I'm saying? Enter on the Risky Randy, Reckless Rachel, take your profits there, right? Enter on the confirmation, shave on your low-hanging fruit, exit on your target, right? That's the way you can double tap order blocks. I don't double tap order blocks, right? I don't. I typically take my trades off of fair value gaps, but I have been known to dabble in the order block entry, and this is when I enter over here. I don't enter on the Reckless Randy, the Reckless Rachel, Risky Randy. I typically enter over here, but that ain't what we came to talk about order blocks. We came to talk about price action, and I got sidetracked because something Zay said, and I can't remember what I was saying now. Yes, what you want, Pumpkin? Text me what you want. I got my phone back here. Text me what you want to eat, and me and the boys will bring it over there. Text me what you. Speaking of eating, me, Calandra, and the boys, we went out last night. Let me share this with y'all. I ain't reading nothing else in the chat. I'm fun. It's story time. I appreciate y'all for putting stuff in the chat, but I ain't looking at chat no more. It's story time. And my mama say she hungry. Text me what you want to eat. Hey, last night me and the kids went out to eat. Like Christopher, his band played the national anthem at a hockey game last night for the Columbus River Dragons, right? So they played the national anthem. You know, the family had to buy tickets. The kids got a free ticket. So when you bought the tickets, they automatically got your child a ticket in seats right next to you. I didn't know this until after I walked all over the arena looking for my kid, right? Then Calandra said, oh, yeah. When we bought our tickets, they just gave the kids a ticket right next to us. And so nobody told me this. So when it was over, mind you now, I looked at my wife and I said, hey, I'm going to go get Chris. She said, okay. That was the moment when she was supposed to say, oh, they gave them a ticket right next to us, and so they should bring them up to us. That would have been the time to say that. So I walked all over the arena, security walking me all around. I'm down there by the ice, going all backstage, looking for my kid. Find the teacher. She had a couple kids with her, and she was like, oh, the kids are already going up to the seats. I said, where are they sitting? She was like, where are your seats at? I said, we bought our tickets online. I don't know where y'all comp tickets are. And she was like, everybody should be in like 210A or 2. And I'm like, I'm in 210A. Right? I'm like, okay, it's right up there where I am. So I go back upstairs, right? So I'm standing down by the ice. I call Calandra looking up. Hey, you see Chris yet? So I'm standing down there, and then I see him walking up. I was like, okay, I see him. They come. I'll be up there in a minute. Right? So that ain't the story I want to tell y'all. I just want to share that part with y'all because I got snowed. Now, this is the story I want to tell y'all. After the hockey game, well, we left, right? We ain't stay. They were doing good. I'm not a hockey fan, but hey, it was exciting. I was having a good time. I ain't gonna hold you. I was having a good time. Columbus River Dragons was looking good. I don't know if they won, but at the end of the first quarter, it was 2-0. Columbus River Dragons was up. They scored like right before we was leaving for the second goal, right? It was awesome. Had a good time. We go out to eat. We go to Olive Garden, right? We sitting there playing heads up. You know the little game where you put the thing on your head like this right here, and you say it yes, put it down, and you pass, you do it like that, and you got it on your forehead. So they saying the stuff up there, and you got to guess what's up there. They giving clues, or you can pick accents, or you can pick whatever they say you got to do in the rules. You just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we playing. Chris got it on his forehead, right? Now, mind you, the thing says Christmas tree, right? Chris is holding it on his forehead. Remember, the thing says Christmas tree. That's the answer. So when Christmas tree comes up, everybody at the table, me, Calandra, and Timothy, we light up because everybody know that Christmas is my wife's holiday. Anybody that know my wife, on October 31st at 10:30 at night, she going in the closet, pulling out the Christmas stuff to start putting it up. On Halloween night, she started putting up her Christmas stuff, right? Here go Chris. Christmas tree pop up. Everybody light up. Oh, he fun to get this one easy. This is what we all thinking. My wife says, and I quote, remember, it says Christmas tree. My wife says, we already got ours up. My son replies, credit score. What 13-year-old kid you know when his mother say, we already got ours up, says credit score? When I tell you my kids are built different, they are built different. Now, I shared that story with y'all to say it's important what we put in our kids' mind. If we instill in our kids that they can do anything, they will do it. If we instill in our kids financial independence early, aka FI, they will do it. It's important to have these conversations with our kids, man. Our parents did the best they could with us with the knowledge they had, right? Our parents wanted more for us than what they had. So they took the little bit that they had, you know what I'm saying? They turned a 2 to a 4, 4 to a 6, to a 4 to a 8. They, you know what I'm saying? They flipped it the way they could flip it to give us more. Now it's our responsibility to flip it the way we can flip it to give them more, to instill more in them. I never had a clue that that kid would say credit score when my wife said, we already got ours up. But what you put in them is so important, man. It's so important. Hey, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, man. I'm about to hit my mom up to see what she want to eat. Y'all already know what it is, man. Don't put off tomorrow what you can say today. Let the people who you love know you love them now, man. Ain't nobody promised tomorrow. Take advantage of today. If your parents still here, call them up. Say, hey, I love you. Mama, I love you. Dad, I love you. I was thinking about you. If you got grown kids, call them up. Let them know you thinking about them. Go in there, kiss your spouse, hug your kids. Rub your fuzzy little kids on the belly. Hello, Jasper. Hello, Jasper. I love you, Jasper. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, man. I'll see y'all in the morning. Remember, it's a short week, so we only going to be doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Ain't no market on Thursday. It's a half a day on Friday, but, hey, we chilling. So we're doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we'll be back on next Sunday. Right. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me today, man. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Don't forget, go support the homie Zay on his YouTube video. If y'all haven't seen it, the link is somewhere in the chat. I put it somewhere in the chat. I can't remember where it is. It's a YouTube link in the chat. Where did I put that link, man? Is it that far back? I guess it is. Yeah, there it is. I guess it is. That's the link to Zay YouTube video right there. Go support Zay video. He talking about he said it's a special edition of Sunday Setup. I don't know if he gonna bring that series back. If y'all ain't been tapping into his Sativa Saturdays, go check out his Sativa Saturdays. Good information, you know what I'm saying, about the market. It's market is another person's point of view on the market, man. It's like just soak up good game from like-minded people and then figure out what tools you want to add to your back utility belt and keep it moving, man. I see y'all in the morning at what time we get together in the morning? 9 o'clock for the overnight price. Action. Till then, man, y'all enjoy y'all family. Gone.